Hey everybody, this is your friend Daniel Hutchins, and we are back again for another video. We're gonna do another live stream, guys. Yeah, it's going on 2 o'clock in the morning, so I figure we can do another chat. Okay, so first we're gonna talk about some Star Wars, and then we're gonna talk about some other stuff. So hang on to your hats because there's gonna be some cool stuff. Okay, so we're going to first talk about why The Last Jedi is the best movie of the Star Wars sequel trilogy. I just call it the Disney trilogy, but it's the sequel trilogy. Okay, so The Last Jedi is arguably the most divisive movie of the Star Wars sequel trilogy. In fact, there is a reason why it is the best movie of the three. This is 2 days ago. So let's keep going. The long awaited cinematic reprise of the Disney acquisition of Lucasfilms and Star Wars makes a return in 2015 with The Force Awakens. Now, the epic has reintroduced itself with a three-part story to keep it astride with the trio of heroes who are determined to take down the First Order. Now, this new wave of Star Wars was determined to find success by identifying intersections between nostalgia and innovation. Now, the Disney conglomerate was the crux in Star Wars Renaissance that's held such an omnipotent draw to lifelong fans and newcomers alike. Okay, evident yet unfortunate disdain to the sequel trilogy was arguably not a product of favoritism over past Star Wars trilogies. Now, additional to say that it's almost unfair scapegoat of comparing a trilogy to another is not really to blame. Instead, the internet has encouraged the open rejection to the sequels after concluding the piece with the other ones. Now, above all, Star Wars Episode 8, The Last Jedi, has succeeded in becoming one of the most divisive entries in Star Wars canon. This individuality and deviation from expectation should credit that to The Last Jedi being in the sequel's best works. Compared to its current reputation by critics and fans and reviewers themselves, there is a very nature of being different and a fundamental reason of negative reception. Now, don't always agree with people with negative receptions because chances are they're probably wrong. Now, the movie, of course, has some flaws, but don't be fooled by that because The Last Jedi has deserved recognition for daring to go outside the box where no franchise has gone before. The Last Jedi is the best of the Star Wars sequels done by Disney. Now, Luke Skywalker's character change was necessary. Now, I think I talked about that. So, disgruntled discussion contest to Skywalker is truly still Skywalker. From The Last Jedi, the denial over the character treatment will spark debate far from the film. There was difficulty to accept the final on screen version of his character because how sharply his behavior has changed over the years he went into hiding. Now, demonstrating the understanding of his character past a one dimensional interpretation. The show must also have sides of who they are, and Skywalker's resentment, anger, self grief, exhaustion, and depression have brought to his surface in Last Jedi, causing rejections of outward angst. But don't be fooled by that because he does end up training Rey in the end. Now, throughout the Star Wars canon, Skywalker has been asked to remain undefeated, but his attitude and resilience appeal to unwavering determination allowed his character to develop an extent. The ambiguity as introduced contradicts Skywalker's belief to genuine goodness found from everyone, despite his past, and in The Last Jedi there's retraction of such an outdated personal naivety that later says that Skywalker came to his final conclusion to restore the Jedi and so that the evil cannot be truly defeated. However, this grapples some repercussions with the dark side with some failed attempts from Kylo Ren. Now, in understanding he cannot save him for himself. Now, they took the liberty of challenging the binary of good and evil through an alternative lens and perspectives of his flagship characters. Though he proves in order to experience growth, there has to be discomfort. Now, that's like that anywhere, guys. Skywalker's drastic shift from personality was unpredictable, uncomfortable component of his film. Now, it's provided necessary outlooks on his character that need to have the entire personality explored. Skywalker was allowed to truly grieve the loss of himself while reflecting on whom he once was, the legend that he was, of course. Now, the bitterness he justified when considering the scope of his character arc, his mental health, his trauma, his stress, his anxiety, his depression, has popularly discussed in Last Jedi, reminding us all that saving the galaxy comes with a mental toll. Having Skywalker cast in the forlorns of the twin sons of Tatooine, when dying, drenched his warmth of both of them, and it's an incredibly heartfelt conclusion to his legacy. Now, he's a legacy character, but he is still widely recognized to this very day. The Last Jedi has celebrated individuality. Now, the tonal shift and unorthodox interpretations of Last Jedi find its strength when standing up on its own. Instead of forcing itself to include Rey, Poe, and Finn to band together to a central adventure against the First Order, Episode 8 has divided it differently. Again, the central protagonist is given a genuine, organic story to follow. Rey is under Skywalker's guidance to determine the discovery of her true lineage. But again, that's the story she did throughout the trilogy. But her persistence to trace her heritage back to her roots have ultimately reminded her of being a nobody is priceless. Later to find out later that she wasn't really a no one. But Star Wars continues to obsess itself with tangled family trees and overlapping relationship between primary people. And Rey accepting her label of no one has promoted self-identity, which later changes in the next one, which was Rise of Skywalker, which we're not talking about that, we're talking about Last Jedi. Now, Last Jedi has advocated for the fact that people can control their fate and their destiny without having to credit the bloodline or the people from social capital. Kylo Ren has verbal barrage, often targets Rey's status as a scrapper from Jakku, attempts to belittle her, and though she learns to overcome these taunts, she learns to overcome her identity crisis and instead embraces who she is. Now, The Last Jedi defeats the idea that labels indicative of who someone is, what someone is, and why someone is, and it breaks past the constrictions of certain characters only so can achieve. Now, Finn's treated more than just an ex-stormtrooper. He's accepted into the rebel resistance, just as Damwon is more appreciated as his leader. Now, character arcs have both insightful and nuanced. Individuality is both given due to rather exist in the sake of being disposable, and ready to appreciate the on-screen growths of these characters, these new generation characters. Now, also keeping Finn and Damwon busy on their own mission, reminding the audience that they too deserve an amount of attention and screen time. Now, it gives them more occupation to their assigned role with the rebel resistance, while looking past the box and once they're placed in. The pair has set their spotlights where they can be more comfortable with themselves and facing their challenge. Now, strength and weakness is underscored, though drawing more of a character personality is individual compared to past characters of canon, or banded together to further explore that's not been explored before. The Last Jedi prides itself in spending more time with the sequel's main trio, though of their own. It has instilled the belief of individualism and is appreciated without having the group association in a personal trait. Now, noted, the direction of the vision were very, very fresh. Now, for innovative as Star Wars is, this sometimes catches itself in a formulaic loop. The director of this movie was prepared to approach the franchise from a new point of view, with diversity also storytelling that of future Star Wars, allowing the franchise to push itself to new levels. With the acceptance of morality and fluid is not as rigid as once presented before. There was a deeper study of character motivation and drive, and has set overlooked textbook definitions of right and wrong, which we all learn in our life what right and wrong is, when willing to take a chance to exist outside of expectation, to be unashamed to trek on a thematic territory and only a what if lingering of past Star Wars entry. The Last Jedi is responsible for sacrificing a tradition for progression in retrospect from the original to the prequel. Now, J.J. Abrams was criticized for not having a real plan, even though approaching a trajectory of sequels, Trilogy, it kept itself wound and bound to be viewed as the acceptable by general audience. There's distinct absences of originality substituted for nostalgia, like The Force Awakens strikingly was, similar to The New Hope. It became a glaring concern that Abrams would settle for a gratifying collective fandom over current refining Star Wars into a more analytical piece of commentary, with the franchise working in observations of non-fictitious worlds that influenced it. Episodes 6 through 9 had failed to see the provocative for Johnson's frame of references acting more as introspectively inquiring installations to series. It wanted to overcome the obvious by applying more of the unexpected, nearly intrusive theme. The writer and the director disruptive approach to Star Wars was the franchise was in dire need of this from the get-go. Now, Episode 8 has avoided enforcing the crowd pleasing the tactics enjoyed by Star Wars in order to captivate a dedicated fan community, and has allowed The Last Jedi to earn a reputation on this list as one of the better Star Wars movies. It wanted to be recognized as an outlier, though the nonconformist visions by Johnson was what generated such strong polarized reaction to Last Jedi. Therefore, the intention of creating a Star Wars film that's left a lasting impact to question the overall redundancy of theme in Star Wars. The significance of The Last Jedi being continuously subjected to debate overqualifies satisfies Johnson's ambition for his film. It generated conversation and buzz for good and bad. The exact subject that Johnson sets to destroy this, and The Last Jedi raised the question as why. Everybody wants to know the answer to why. While leaving this answer open-ended to personal interpretation and theories, he enters the Star Wars universe knowing that living beings have their own ways of life as well. Now, Star Wars universe, knowing that there is experience behind all the people in the universe, the concept is not alien to anyone because most true Star Wars fans know that, and it's invited to influence the series of prequels and originals. And Johnson has authorized himself to rework his concepts in sequels through Last Jedi. Okay, let me know your thoughts about that, but we are going to do another article. Yeah, we're doing another article, guys. So time check is about almost 14 minutes. We're going to head over to Screen Rant. Yeah, we're going to Screen Rant, y'all. We're going to Screen Rant. All right. So now we are going to be saying Doctor Strange. Yeah, Doctor Strange. Doctor Strange is hiding a true villain. A theory has been explained. Now, for Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness, there is a trailer that sets up a dark Doctor Strange. But is it the actual villain that we think was different? This was 17 hours ago. So, Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness may be hiding a true villain, the Elder God Chifan. Chifan is a Elder God of the universe and is a real foe facing Doctor Strange and Scarlet Witch. The excitement was building of the next Marvel movie, Doctor Strange sequel, continuation of multiverse epic that has run in through Phase 4 of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. The Doctor Strange 2 trailer appears to tease Multiverse is broken, open to results of spells from Spider-Man No Way Home, which set all this up. Plus, you also had Loki also breaking the universe. And you also had other things breaking the universe, but not really that much though. But which is surely ironic given that that's including erasing Strange's own memory of Peter Parker. Now, Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness has aimed to set up multiple villains, or is said to have multiple villains. It features a shot of Doctor Strange in battle against Shuma Gorath, one of the most fearsome enemies in comics. Although apparently renamed Gargantos in MCU, alternatively, the Doctor Strange 2 trailer suggested Stephen Strange himself can be a main villain, glimpsing from the dark Doctor Strange from Marvel What If. That was from August last year. Now, the ominous dialogues pointing the idea that Strange against his evil variant of himself of another dimension. Either of this would fit well for the multiverse theme, and it's easy to say why Marvel would be attracted to either of those stories. The rogue variant of Doctor Strange would be an ultimate mirror image villain. While in comics, Shuma Gorath was consumed countless realities in the comics, the Doctor Strange himself proved himself worthy as the Sorcerer Supreme that defeated Shuma Gorath in battle. Now, but Marvel Studios is known to keep secrets. It's unlikely Doctor Strange 2 trailer would actually reveal the main villain. Instead, it's likely to all be misdirection. Now, given that, Marvel Studios teases numerous potential story being thrown in a curveball. What's more than that is that more notable Doctor Strange enemies would be perfectly suited to the sequel, and who is already being set up to Phase 4. So Doctor Strange 2 trailer appears to deceive the viewers. We want to know how though. But Marvel trailers have traditionally been designed to conceal much to reveal. Now, again, sometimes they've done good jobs, with Infinity War and Endgame notably deceptive. On other occasions, not so much. But again, with Captain Marvel an open secret ahead of film release, again, that's noted also on another side though. But likely, Doctor Strange 2 trailer is another deceptive one, simply because the villains do not really fit. Be powerful from the comics Shuma Gorath, which is an ancient creature from the comics. Now, given the creature is shown simply tossing a bus at Doctor Strange from this trailer, which is a weak attack by effortlessly dismissed by Strange. Trailers have hardly said that this monster would be the major enemy, rather seeming to imply it is a creature that has attacked his dimension. Similar role to was played from What If. Meanwhile, the supposedly evil Doctor Strange variant is no such thing. At least we don't think there would be, but that character's introduced in animated form from Marvel What If. And if he was redeemed by the end of season 1, returning to his old ruins of his own dimension, to spend eternity guarding the pocket dimension that contains never-ending battles between variants of Killmonger and Ultron, now rather than that enemy, he's more likely to serve as a mentor, especially given his learned secrets of sorcery in Marvel's Mac Universe. The Doctor Strange has not having discovered the library of Caluisto, which has contained dark magic and the Prime Strange has never encountered. Minds of dialogue have suggested Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness trailer setting up Strange as a villain is unlikely to point this variant of Strange. Therefore, rather than MCU Doctor Strange using magic to shatter his reality, the so-called multiverse of madness is therefore his fault because of poor judgment. Now, the real villain of Doctor Strange 2 has already been foreshadowed. Want to know who? So if Doctor Strange 2 is all misdirected, the naturality raises the question as who the villain is, or really is. The most likely is the elder god named Chthon, who's already been strongly foreshadowed in Marvel's Mac Universe, notably from WandaVision. A Lovecraftian monster, Chthon and his fellow elder gods have ruled Earth long before the dawn of humans. Now, been banished from the plane of existence, Chthon has foresawn his banishment, though, and left behind a dark gift for humanity. Collection of scrolls we know, the Darkhold, which was referenced in WandaVision, officially introduced in the version of Darkhold the Scarlet Witch claiming it was from the defeated witch Agatha Harkness, learning magic from their pages. Now, the Darkhold, sometimes known as the Book of Sins or the Book of Damned, is not to be trifled with. Every time a sorcerer uses a spell derived from the Darkhold book, the very fabric of reality is damaged. The Darkhold doesn't contain warning or consequences of this magic, therefore, the truth that is real purpose of any spell contained within this book. What's more is that anyone who reads the Darkhold is corrupted by baleful influences. Doctor Strange 2 trailers show Scarlet Witch costume turning blacker, as though corrupted by dark magic. Now, another shot showed Doctor Strange using dark holds as well. Now, connection runs deeper than this though. Having read the Darkhold, Agatha Harkness recognized Wanda Maximoff as Scarlet Witch. Her magic is chaos magic, but in comics, Chiffon is the true source of chaos magic. With any sorcerer who has legendary power to conduit Chiffon himself, chaos magic is known for scarlet hues, as seen from WandaVision and teased by title screens of Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness. Therefore, the more Wanda Maximoff taps in chaos magic, the more it would distort reality and prepare the way Chiffon return. Therefore, in some comic book arcs, he's even became a host to his power, and the arc has notably been recently been turned upside down. Therefore, with Scarlet Witch imprisoned in Chiffon within her body, concerningly, though, it's worth noting that comic Chiffon named mystical beings and creatures within Darkhold, because to name then is to gain degree over control them. Therefore, thus, the Darkhold pages of Scarlet Witch should be viewed as very ominous indeed. Now, Marvel has clearly set this potential MCU debut to Chiffon, and given that Scarlet Witch and the Darkhold look set to play a major role in Doctor Strange 2, it's noted that it's reasonable to assume that this monstrous villain will appear. If that is the case, Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness trailer is another Marvel deceitful story. Now, rather than point to real villain, it serves to distract the viewers from two red herrings. Okay, guys, let me know your thoughts about that, about their theory, about the true villain in Doctor Strange 2. Let me know your thought about that. I think it's really cool that Chiffon could potentially make an appearance and be the core monster behind this. Now, let's just keep going. Yeah, okay. Okay. So now we are going to be talking about Electro. Yes, Electro from Spider-Man. Yes, Electro from Spider-Man. Electro's redesigned power in No Way Home explained by the voice effect team. Okay, so Electro had a big character update from No Way Home. Now, voice effects supervisor Chris Wagner has explained the decision behind this redesign. This is from an hour ago. So, given the Spider-Man No Way Home is already out in theaters, we already know the visual effects supervisor has discussed the redesign of Electro powers. This has premiered in December of last year, and it's to top the box office, a spot that seemingly likely hold even after 6 weeks. Directed by John Watts, we saw this kind of, but we don't have to go through the whole synopsis because I already told you about it. But among those, we already know all the classic villains already returned. Okay, so Electro powers behave differently in No Way Home than they do from The Amazing Spider-Man 2, given he has more electricity than man now. Now Electro uses his arc reactor to power himself. Now, visual effects supervisors from Sony Picture Imageworks has explained some of those changes made to Electro in interviews with Before and After. He says that the team designed Electro to be more dynamic to Spider-Man No Way Home, so his powers would frighten his heroes within his presence. He also mentioned how they thought Electro's lightning appearing in on-screen in No Way Home final battle. You can read this guy's explanation below. Okay, I'm going to read it to you. For this show, we pitched electrical effects being more violent and staccato with the moments of pure energy. This idea being that when he zaps the location to location, to location, to location, he is hovering taunting over heroes. Electrical effects have almost disoriented all our heroes, Therefore, always an electrical storm in air surrounding Electro, almost like being near a giant Tesla coil. It's opened up so many creative possibilities for this artist when lighting these shots. Even though he may not have been in this frame, once the electrical look had been established, we had the ability to do dynamic lighting, which posed the threats of him nearby. We did a deep dive researching Electro update look, reviewing many ways real electrical events trying to determine what was the best look for him. We even went back to comic book reference and incorporated some of his new look. If you see the lighting references, you can find all sorts of crazy visual things. There were many different types of lighting. Electricity presents itself in many forms. Now we ended up creating an updated stylized look we felt was both threatening and beautiful, while also offering some more cinematic freedom to the night sky for a sequence. You can see a photo of this redesign below. Now, with Electro's redesign, Sony not only updated his character, but they gave him an instant moment of growth. In Spider Man No Way Home, Peter Parker tries to save his villains from the past to save their home universe. For Electro, whose biggest obstacle is Max Dillon, feeling isolated and insecure, losing his blue color and inhuman body clears the obstacle without neutering him as a villain. Therefore, his power and confidence to fight Spider Man has motivation been shifted, making his final reconciliation with Spider Man more believable. And by merging together three separate Spider Man series in No Way Home, Sony and Marvel has successfully did the difficult task and made it possible and therefore was very, very awesome. Therefore, risking losing a character beloved by fans amidst a huge collection of characters didn't actually happen because overall the movie honored all the characters, adding more to Electro's story than he was before. Okay, so let me know your thoughts about that, guys. Again, Electro is a really important villain in Sony's Spider Man library of villains. So, again, let me know your thoughts about that. So we are going to be talking about something else. Now we're going to be talking about the Batman. Yes, the Batman, Robert Pattinson Batman. I've talked about him quite a lot on the channel, so we're talking about him again. The Batman director explained the reason behind Pattinson's massive eyeliner. Now, as you see in the trailer, Robert Pattinson has really laid on his eyeliner, and the Batman might have laid some eyebrows, but the director says it fits with the vision he has had. This is 3 hours ago. The Batman director, Matt Reeves, explained the creative reason why Robert Pattinson has so much eyeliner. Now, the Batman, the iconic DC hero, is getting another reboot. It is not set with DC Extended Universe, it is separate. Therefore, Ben Affleck iteration character is also going. Ben Affleck iteration is stepping down after The Flash. You already kind of know that because I already told you. Now, coming on the heels of Affleck and Christian Bale, we already know Pattinson has some big shoes to fill when it comes to playing Batman. There is some backlash to his initial cast, therefore, in most parts, many fans are excited to see him take on a character. This buzz has been positive ever since his release of his first trailer, as revealed his suit, his voice, his makeup, and his makeup. He has really, really, really laid on the eyeliner. Now, okay, so you want to know why? I'll tell you more about that. So Reeves recently explained the thought process behind so much eyeliner from the interviews from Esquire. Now, many fans might have been surprised to see Bruce sporting this dark look, but Reeves said it has taken this image and gave off a speaks to overall theatrically of Batman, and he stated, "You can't wear a cowl and not wear this. All the Batmen wear it. We love this idea of taking off a mask and under it there's a sweat and dripping and a whole theatrical of becoming his character." Okay, so it might be true, but all previous on-screen Batman actors wore some eyeliner under his cowl. But we don't know that because no one in any sort of form has ever taken off their cowl. Only just for a short time though. But it's never been quite as visible as it was for Pattinson. It is a daring look, and it is one. And Reeves has said connecting the dramatic sides of Batman, the The smudged eyeliners give the impression that Bruce is truly a summoning character when he slips out of his cowl and cape. Now, since the Batman looks to be exploring Bruce's physique on deeper levels, it's the extra reasoning that his eyeliner is so dark. Given that both makes sense to show that Reeves has put a lot of thought into Bruce's action. Now, why the Batman will put a lot of focus on the darker version of Bruce Wayne and Batman, this film has also included Christopher Reeve's support cast, the Zoe Kravitz Catwoman, the Colin Farrell Penguin, and also setting up the Riddler as well. But he's not mentioned in here though. But even without being part of the DC Extended Universe, Reeves has still crafted a well-developed world to explore the future of Batman. And there's going to be a spin-off with Colin Farrell Penguin sometime later on HBO. I think I might have already talked about that, so you might have to check further down my list and look up pay attention close to my longer live streams, and you might find that. But fans will get to see this new Batman emerge in under 2 months. This, therefore, can decide how they feel about him, the dark eyeliner and all. Now, that might answer your question as why Batman has so much eyeliner. Okay, we're going to keep going. We're going to do one more. Okay. Okay, so this is something that's completely off random, but this is something I wanted to talk about that made me pretty upset. Okay, Disney may replace the 7 dwarfs from Snow White with new magical creatures. Now, Disney might be replacing the original 7 dwarfs from the new take of the live-action Snow White. Now, this is going to be really, really, really controversial. Now, it is revealed today that Disney has taken steps to avoid reinforcing the stereotype from the 1937 classic Snow White 7 Dwarfs. The animated film makes their new name just Snow White. This remake may replace the dwarfs with other magical creatures. This original was based in 1812. It's a German fairy tale done by Brother Grimm. The first full-length animated film done by Disney, the late version is slated to release in 2023. Written by someone else, and it is a director known for writing Lady Bird and Little Women. Also being directed by Mark Webb. Also directed the Andrew Garfield Spider-Man movies. Okay. Disney currently in development remakes of the now live-action project. Now we get to see the Evil Queen also return, and also someone is supposed to also play the prince. However, most recent news don't know about this because they describe the narrative about the dwarfs being backwards. Now, Disney has since responded to this comment, making it clear they are aware of the stereotypes, taking different approaches by not including the dwarfs. Now, this really fucking pissed me off because the criticism to Disney response says that now the rap says that Disney is seeking to replace the 7 dwarfs from the previous movie with new magical creatures. Well, what the fuck else would you replace it with? Was my response. But according to cast and sheets, no other details are shown at this time. Therefore, it's a movie in 2023. We don't know who these magical creature replacements are. Okay, it's also suggested Snow White production is seeking voice actors for these new supposed magical creatures with new personality. The update rendition of these new 7 characters may include CGIs to visually see them on the screen. However, this film is not expected to release until 2023, so no details are expected anytime soon. Now, in the past, Disney's updated the classic films like Aladdin and Jungle Book, and the name list goes on and on and on. Result films and changes have generally been met with varying levels of successes. Now, the 2020 Mulan has eliminated the dragon Mushu from live action and the love interest Li Shang. which we already know Lashang is the general who wanted an all-man army, but ended up getting misfits. We already know that. But split in two different characters, yo. Meanwhile, the 2017 Beauty and the Beast saw an openly gay character in that as well. Now, given Disney history, it seems it's obviously being mindful to certain groups represented from the screen. Therefore, their live action reboots are not exactly as claimed as the originals, but still fans could also rewatch them, likely to continue their approach with the new Snow White remake. Okay, so Disney is really fucking around with all the shit that's going on with movies. And yeah, so I'm not really terribly happy about that. So we're going to keep going and we're actually going to talk about something else, because that kind of left me kind of stale. Now, we want to talk about what's going on with the actor of C-3PO. Okay, so C-3PO, the actor from Star Wars movies, C-3PO, the actor, has revealed he's up for returning to a project. Now, we know the Anthony Daniels has always played C-3PO. He takes on to an Instagram to tease his return to a C-3PO project. We don't know the C-3PO project, but again, this is really cool because Anthony Daniels is a very popular name in Star Wars. Now, he's returning to another project, supposedly, according to the news, live-action Star Wars films. Now, Daniels has first done the C-3PO in 1977. We already know that. Now, most of you 70s babies should know that. The integral part of the franchise during the whole run. Now, Daniels would not only return for a cameo appearance as the favorite protocol droid, but he also did some other appearances too. He also briefly played some other appearances that most people don't really pay attention to. But despite being designed by this creator, they have based heavily on the robot from the 1927 German sci-fi film Metropolis. Now, while Star Wars creator George Lucas had originally envisioned 3PO with an American accent, he considered a legendary voice actor for another legendary actor for the role. He later changed his mind and Daniels tested for the role. Now, over the following decades, Daniels would continue to prove his dedication to the role of C-3PO. Now, 3PO is one of the most popular characters in all of Star Wars, including his specials, his movies, his documentary, his video games, the Clone Wars, Rebels, Resistance, and the list goes on and on and on. Now, most recently, it appears that Daniels is set to return in a protocol droid again, in his famous C-3PO. Now, an actor took the Instagram to share a behind-the-scene photo of him in a full motion gear, capturing his photo saying, "Finally, a new suit that fits." Now, he tagged himself in the London studio, and we can check out his post on Anthony Daniels Official, which is where you can follow his page where you can see C-3PO. Okay, there's a picture of him on Instagram, and he's wearing like these black tracksuit, and he has all like these lights on him. It's really cool. So it has 16,000 plus likes. It's a new suit for him, C-3PO. Now, exactly which project he is set to appear in is not clear at this point in time, though most people are predicting he might come back to Obi-Wan Kenobi or another series as well. Now, instead hinting the involvement of a video game instead, which also set up well. Other fans have officially pointed to previously announced Star Wars Droid Story, which is a story about C-3PO and R2-D2 when they were heroes and they were together having legendary adventures together. Now, special intended for release on Disney Plus, the Droid stories will see the Lucasfilm animation take on the recreation of C3PO and work in a new special. Altogether seem invisibly relieved by a motion capture rather than a forced to wear practical suit used from every episode of the Skywalker saga except The Phantom Menace. Because obviously in The Phantom Menace, he was just wires. Now, until more information is released, avid Star Wars fans will no doubt be pondering where he might appear next. Now, let me know your thought about that. I think it's really cool. The now C3PO is thinking he's going to return to another project. I think it's really cool. Because most of you guys probably remember eating C3PO cereal and also watching C3PO The Droid Adventures and the Droid cartoons and all that stuff, you used to did back in the 80s. Now, we're going to keep going. Let's see. There's lots of stuff that's been updated. Now, okay. Now, we're going to be talking about something else. Now, we're going to be talking about Red Guardian. Now, Red Guardian was played by David Harbour in the movie Black Widow. Now, Red Guardian has a super soldier serum that was secretly killing him from the inside. Now, Red Guardian was in prison for years before Natasha and Yelena broke him out. Now, there's been some reasons why he had stayed around. Okay. For fans who may think it strange that Red Guardian did not break out of prison before Black Widow, one theory has claimed his life had depends on it. Now, Scarlett Johansson's backstory to Marvel Cinematic Universe comes to the light to Black Widow. In her film, Natasha spent her childhood in an undercover spy operation in the United States in 1990. Now, during their mission, she posed as a part of a family living in Ohio. Now, her sister, Yelena Belova, played her sister, now we said that, and Red Guardian, played by David Harbour, played the dad. And the mom was there as well. Now, years later, Natasha reunited with her former fake family to take down this Red Room, which is the Soviet-Russian program designed to brainwash trained Black Widow agents. And we know at the end that all the Black Widow agents became free when they destroyed the Red Room. But in Black Widow, Yelena and Natasha planned to break Red Guardian out of prison. From some point after Red Guardian mission in Ohio, Dreykov, the leader of the Red Room, has put him in prison for the rest of his life. Well, not his whole life, but unfortunately for him, Dreykov has sent him to the 7th Circle Prison, which is a highly secure facility in a remote area of Russia. There he wastes away telling his same stories about how Chris Evans Captain America over and over again. Now, but of course, Red Guardian fake daughters helped him out of prison, and the 3 of them reunited with the mom who lives outside of St. Petersburg, which is another city in Russia. Now, following Black Widow, fans speculated why Red Guardian didn't break out of prison sooner. Apparently, his life depended on prison. Now, according to this theory, Red Guardian's super soldier serum was killing him. Now, he needed medical attention to stay alive. The theory from Black Widow focuses on the helicopter in which Natasha and Yelena fly to the 7th Circle Prison. Since the aircraft was low on fuel, they still made it close to St. Petersburg, where the theory speculated that the prison remoteness wasn't what was keeping Red Guardian incarcerated. If he had broken out, he could have likely been made to town. And since Red Guardian's health had deteriorated as he aged, despite having taken a super soldier serum long ago, the theory has claimed he likely stayed to get the medical attention to keep him alive. Therefore, in his case, it may also explain why he needed to be near Melina. Also outside the prison, it also gave Red Guardian the medical treatment he needed. Because, his health was kind of going down. Now, when it comes to theories, the math has added up that Red Guardian's superpowers were full display during the prison escape. Though he busts through doors and jumps up walls, though it takes both Natasha and Leonard to get him out of prison, it seems Dave could have managed this. Could have managed this himself during some of the years incarceration if he wanted to, but he still possesses these powers to this day. Now, it makes sense that something else is keeping him in the prison. A character gaining weight and losing hair is evident that the super soldier serum is not helping him keep young and vibrant. Since Melina works on scientific projects, she's a scientist herself, and anyone knew how to keep him healthy, it'd be her. Now, still, this theory is far from the canon stretch, though. Even if Red Guardian could have escaped prison in Black Widow, there could have been some other things keeping him there. Now, for instance, the character has carried a lot of guilt over his past in Black Widow. Therefore, he said he simply stayed in prison because he thought he deserved it. Now, additionally, Dreykov put him in prison for this reason. If he had escaped on his own, he would potentially cost him his whole life. Therefore, on the other hand, maybe he just really likes telling his Captain America stories. Okay, so let me know your thoughts about that. I think it's really cool. So let's keep going. Now, you know how earlier I said I was going to do one more, but I lied. So let's just keep going. There's a lot of good stuff here on Screen Rant, guys. There's a lot of good stuff. So let's just keep cranking out the truck and find some things. Okay. So, okay. We are gonna keep going. We're gonna keep going. Gonna keep going. We're still looking. Yeah, we're still looking. We're still looking. Okay, this is something that's interesting that I don't normally talk about. We're talking about video games now. So, Call of Duty is to remain for PlayStation for at least 3 more years. Okay, so this surprises me because PlayStation is slowly losing most of their properties. Now, according to new reports, Call of Duty is expected to remain for PlayStation for at least 3 more years due to some contract obligation. Okay, now this really is weird. Okay, let's keep going. This is 5 hours ago. There's a lawsuit that's been filed against Activision by California Department of Fair Employment and Housing, alleging the company to engage abuse, discrimination, retaliation, female employees, and Activision has denied the allegation. Details, you can see the lawsuit. Content warning has rape, suicide, abuse, harassment, and the list goes on and on. Therefore, update this new information becomes available. Okay, according to new reports, Call of Duty would continue to be released for PlayStation for at least the next 3 years. Now, fans have heavily speculated the future of Call of Duty following the Microsoft purchase of Activision. Now, it is one of the biggest franchise changes in all of entertainment history. Therefore, it is hard to imagine being confined to one platform. Now, nonetheless, guys, it's also noted and difficult to believe that Microsoft would spend almost $70 billion just to pick up the rights to Activision. Now, not to have a specific plan in mind for this particular franchise. Okay, rumors have already been swirling around the pot saying that Call of Duty is ditching its yearly release, something that has probably hurt the series more than benefit from recent years. Although Call of Duty is a popular franchise, it's managed to stay a consistent top seller every year. The franchise popularity has dwindled in shooter community, therefore there's been other shooter games that have outranked it. Now, the combination of lackluster, rushed game, and general fatigues have made most players say that it's time for a break. Although nothing is set in stone yet, it seems likely that this could happen maybe in the next few years. Okay, so a new report says from Bloomberg saying Call of Duty would continue to release for PlayStation for 3 more years. Now, this means the heavily rumored Modern Warfare sequel is coming this year, and also a Call of Duty in 2023. A sequel to Warzone is also supposed to release also next year. Microsoft has already stated plans to keep Call of Duty on PlayStation, although Sony may have contracts in this place. Therefore, it wasn't much of a surprise right now. No one knows what will happen in these next 3 games. Okay, games mean releases. Okay, so to say the very least, the Warzone sequel implies that there will be at least one more actively supported Call of Duty game for PlayStation, and even if that series becomes fully exclusive to Xbox and Microsoft players, still doesn't own Activision quite yet. But the deal is expected to close by the summer of next year, summer of 2023. Now, that deal is going to get closed in summer 2023. By that point, Microsoft will likely begin to map out the future of their series and determine whether or not it wishes to cement with an Xbox exclusive franchise. Rumors have suggested Call of Duty 2022 would release in October, which is where most people buy their video games, because it's right around Christmas and right around holiday, but may be one of the last traditional entries of this franchise. Now, Activision, as a brand, is expected to announce this game in the summer, with some trailers probably released that, and it will likely be the last Call of Duty released before Microsoft acquires their brand. Now, similarly, though, Call of Duty 2023 could also be the last mainline entry of the series in PlayStation. There it also seems to be remain to be seen. Okay, so let me know your thoughts about that. I think that's really weird, but not really weird. But if you think about it, yeah, you understand Call of Duty has been around for a long time. So you understand how it's been going on a little bit of a decline. But again, let me know your thoughts. I think it's really interesting. So let me know your thoughts. I really, really want you to share your thoughts about this stuff. It's really important that you guys communicate from here on these live streams and on my videos. Okay, so now we're going to talk about a Screen Rant original. The Star Wars Tatooine has complaints. Star Wars has Tatooine complaints that are only going to get worse. Now, Star Wars has been receiving a lot of backlash for the over-obsession of Tatooine in the main backdrop. So much so that complaints soon to become worse. Now, this is really weird. More controversy. But okay. Star Wars returns to the origin on Tatooine, where complaints have rolled that the continued focus of Galaxy's central location, only there to see backlash, is only going to get worse as Disney expands their franchise. Now, partially drawn from a bleak, isolated, sand-covered world we saw from the Dune novels, now George Lucas sets the home base of his Star Wars on a desolate planet of Tatooine, which is, we know, the most famous planet in all Star Wars. Now, on the Outer Rim territory of Star Wars Legacy, Tatooine has little influence in the galaxy apart from many characters who has stories who began there. Yet it continues to be the franchise's most consistent backdrop and background. Now, Star Wars rarely leaves Tatooine as a set-in, with each grand film series being solely on Tatooine. We know we have The New Hope, you had The Phantom Menace, and you had some other ones there. And the really, really, really end of Rise Skywalker, where you saw Luke's ancestral home. Now, again, this returned again the Book of Boba Fett, exploring the criminal syndicate control in Tatooine. Now, after very, very much focus on Tatooine, Star Wars viewers are getting tired of it. And it is overwhelming presence for the past 45 years. Yeah, 45 years on the same planet. I can understand why you get kind of tired of Tatooine. 45 years, man. 45 years. There is still an interesting galaxy that has not been touched. Now, complaints saying that Tatooine has constant presence in Star Wars obsession, and the planet has proved the franchise is trapped in their own past. Now, noting the characters themselves tend to love this locale, the Anakin's infamous sand quote, and his meme being the more famous of universe gripes, or extensive devotion to the lore of Star Wars has become. The new films and TV shows have struggled with on-screen world building. The Star Wars Disney Plus shows have offered incredible opportunities to explore unseen, little storied, underrated locations in Star Wars universe. Less intensive scale, similar to the new planets and Mandalorian dabbled in, but the franchise chooses to stick to Tatooine. What the fuck? So backlash about Star Wars refusals to leave Tatooine is not new, for it is very, 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 very pissing some people off. But it is going under the increase in volumes as majorities of TV shows take place in that same region. Okay, considering the war against the Pike Syndicate from the very beginning, there was no suggestion that Book of Boba Fett would leave Tatooine. Therefore, supports the notion the iconic bounty hunter is vying to maintain the control of this planet. The success of Boba Fett is bound to earn Season 2, meaning Tatooine would remain a fixture in Star Wars. And, Boba Fett is one of the oldest characters. Now, most highly anticipated upcoming project Obi-Wan Kenobi. Now, which unsurprisingly also follows on Tatooine. Watching over the young Luke Skywalker, while Ahsoka and Andor have offered new works at less explored planets that are more seen as underrated. Now, Kenobi has far more pushes to the viewers, meaning Tatooine criticism is overwhelmingly presented compared to kudos of more unexplored areas. Star Wars big shows taking place on Tatooine introduce another universe problem. Though stories take place in past timeline, now it may be interesting to repeat Tatooine once in a while, but again, when Rey has donned her yellow lightsaber in Rise of Skywalker, exploring the planet future, the viewers already know Tatooine has been progressing past Kenobi and Boba Fett. Now, their timelines both happened on Tatooine. Now, Star Wars expands its existing character history, though the galaxy already feels smaller when it already should be more than just Tatooine. Okay, so let me know your thoughts about that. Do you think they need to explore off of Tatooine? They need to kind of branch away from Tatooine because, like the article said, 45 years, man. 45 years on the same planet where it's just desert sand, Tatooine. Man, that is hardcore shit, man. Some hardcore shit. So, okay, let's just keep going. Yeah, there's more, guys. There's always more. Okay, let's just keep going. I'm going to probably try to push one more before my computer dies. I need to plug it back in again because when I do live streams or videos and things, it just kind of just breaks it all in. Okay, this is something we normally don't talk about, but this is something else. Now, there is a possibility of a future with Ice Age. Now, Ice Age 7. Can you believe there's a possibility of an Ice Age 7? Yeah, that's fucking crazy. Ice Age 7 and the future of franchise. Now, the Ice Age Adventures of Buck Wild, which is supposed to be a series on Disney Plus, also talks about a possibility of a 7th movie. What the fuck? Ice Age 7. Well, they should have stopped right at 4 or should have stopped at 5, but now they're doing Ice Age 7. What the fuck? Okay, So Ice Age Adventures of Buck Wild comes out the end of this month, and it is a wildly popular franchise that's grossed over a total of $3.2 billion in US. Now, spawned countless shorts, games, merchandise, and more. Ice Age has followed the adventures of a dysfunctional group of prehistoric animals like the mammoth, the sloth, the saber-toothed tiger, the opossums, and of course the squirrel, Scrat. Now, of course, the upcoming Ice Age Adventures of Buck Wild mainly focuses on Crash and Eddie as they return to the lost dinosaur world we saw from the third film, The Dawn of the Dinosaurs. We united with the zany, crazy hero we know, Buck, who is a weasel, who has one eye and wears a leaf as an eye patch. Now, large cast of characters introduced to the series seems as a possibility of a future with Ice Age. Okay, recently Screen Rant sat down with an interview with Ice Age producers, possibly thinking of an Ice Age 7. Now, why the hell would you do an Ice Age 7? That is what we want to know. Ice Age 7 could branch off of Buck Wild. While she mentioned this might be too early to confirm a seventh movie, the team has many ideas of adventures of new characters. The steps to depend the audience receives of the new success of Ice Age. Now, seems likely that this might happen. We don't know. But there's talks of a seventh movie, yo. Seventh movie. What the fuck is happening? Okay, so we hope people would respond to this because people promote we might do a seventh movie if we see the Buck Wild thing be successful on Disney Plus. Now, the big change in Ice Age right now is it's owned by Disney now, and the franchise will depend on how Fox properties are handled with Disney. Will Disney treat the series with a formal competition and be pushed aside? We do not know this, because it is a valuable asset to themselves. Now, unclear how Disney is going to plan that of Ice Age. The Blue Sky Studios used to be what owned Ice Age, but now Disney owns Ice Age. Therefore, Blue Sky Studios had shut down. Now Disney owns Ice Age. Therefore, releasing the new film exclusive to Disney Plus would be based on the global success of Ice Age as a franchise with all their films. Now, infinite potential for more stories on this world could be short-sighted to stop a series now. Now, since Disney is prioritizing their streaming, Ice Age would be perfect for Disney long-term goals because future Ice Age could be released on Disney Plus and theaters and short spin-off cartoons and more. Therefore, exclusive to Disney Plus. Therefore, what's great about the Ice Age is that large cast of characters in this world was so distinct and unique they can go anywhere because there are so many elements of the earlier films that can be revisited, such as the baby and the tribe in the first Ice Age, and the seventh movie could be beginning of the new era. We don't know, but it's just crazy. Okay, so let me know your thoughts, guys. I think that is absolutely crazy, man. There's going to possibly be an Ice Age 7. I think it's really fucking weird. But let's just keep going. Oh, man. I only have 17 minutes on my computer. Okay. So, shit. I almost tipped my chair over. Now, hold on. I need to find my computer charger. That's what I need to find. Now, if I find my computer charger, I can talk for hours. Well, not actually hours, unless you want me to. Now, oh my gosh. I'm probably definitely going to have to take a shower. I'm probably definitely going to have to take a shower now. Because I feel really, really, really dirty. And I just put this clean shirt on, and now I already feel dirty, even though I hardly did anything. Now, just to make things easier, let's just put it on the side table. Okay. Oh my gosh. These tight boxer briefs now already smell, and my armpits, they smell really bad too. Oh my god. Well, I think the last time I took a shower was like 4 days ago, so that probably can explain why I stink so bad. Okay, so let's keep going. Now, in case you're wondering how long it's going to take my computer to charge, it's going to take me an hour and 41 minutes to a full charge. Oh my god, wow. It's crazy. Plus, I'm just doing YouTube on the PlayStation, and I'm also doing HBO on my other TV. Now, let's just keep going because there's a lot of shit I want to talk about. Now, we want to keep going. Oh my god. To think that my computer had 3 hours of battery and now it has to charge again. Wow. Freaking crazy. Okay, let's keep going. Let's keep going. Oh my god. Ow. Oh, fuck. Okay. Uh. Oh my god. Okay. Okay. This is something that's a little bit of nostalgia. We're going to be talking about the Return of the Jedi. Yes, the Return of the Jedi. So why Return of the Jedi has cut a silly Star Wars alien? Okay, so legendary visual effect producer has disclosed why a silly creature from Return of the Jedi did not make the cut in the final film. Okay, visual effects have revealed a bizarre alien design that was failed to make the appearance in Return of the Jedi. Now, you remember Return of the Jedi if you were born in the 70s or the 80s, but with this career in the forefront of filmmaking, this person's background and amazing visual effects have work that has seen the movie maker world go crazy, including the original Star Wars trilogy, starting all the way back in 1977. Now, this has a crazy idea where there's this creature that did not make the cut for Return of the Jedi. Okay, so while Star Wars has consistently demonstrated the expansive selection of aliens across the franchise, we know Return of the Jedi's boasted perhaps some of the most impressive amounts of aliens throughout the franchise. The most introduced viewers were most recognized by the Twi'leks, the Rancor, and Gamorrean guards, although Return of the Jedi has also introduced the Ewoks, which was first of several species to split up the Star Wars fans' opinions across the years. Now, throughout the movie, this creature that this company has made worked on creative realistic aliens with heavy amounts of CGI. It's just computer graphic imagery for those who don't know. Now, this film used astonishing amounts of practical effect to bring these creatures to life. You know, because it's Jim Henson creature art type stuff. Now, you get kind of that Jim Henson creature vibe just when I'm talking about this, but making it one of the fine examples to the creature work in movie entertainment and movie history. Now, one alien species that never got the chance to see the Star Wars movie was revealed in a simple reason why. Now, this response from Twitter has hit the web, and this person said why this creature did not show up in the final cut of Return of the Jedi. And everyone just laughed. Now, in response to seeing this monster, accompanied by originals post, this short clip has given some credit to this creator, showing this monster in the glory. You can check out a tweet below. Okay, from this creator from the Creature Shop, Phil Tippett. Now look just like this. Everyone just laughed. You never got shot. Now, okay. So, The Mysterious Light Man was filmed 40 years ago today from Return of the Jedi, pretty much immediately abandoned. Okay, so, Phil Tippett, what do you remember about this? Okay, so, there is this new creature that was never used. Now, again, while Star Wars rarely boasts on a bad creature design, the now infamous Light Man could have been broken this tradition. The silly light bulb covered bodysuit tentacle armed creature, the Light Man, has awkward movements that don't feel really Star Wars like at all, making this creature, the Light Man, a really hard creature to miss. Now, the Light Man is a really, really weird creature. Now, given that, Light Man was a type of alien species that wasn't chosen, unfortunately had to get cut from the original make of Return of the Jedi. Major criticisms of the trilogy, the sequel trilogy, with the lack of recognizable Star Wars species. The movie focusing on a new creature design instead of the iconic Star Wars critters. The criticism has corrected themselves by franchise recent TV outings with The Mandalorian and The Book of Boba Fett, both including plenty of iconic Star Wars odds. Now, the later on the particular doubling down of recognizable creatures in Star Wars has teased fans of fantastic unused designs of the past, especially the Return of the Jedi's laughable creature we know, Light Man. Light Man. Isn't that a weird name? Light Man. It is unlikely this creature would ever be considered in the missed opportunity of the galaxy far, far away anytime soon. Now, this is really weird, but yeah, there's this video where they had this creature, and it's basically like this alien that basically had lights and tentacles. Really freaking weird. I didn't even know this thing even existed until I found out today. What the hell? Do you guys know anything about this Return of the Jedi alien cut of the Light Man? I want to know. I think it's really, really weird. This clip right here is really weird. I'm going to play this video real quick. I just go straight to Twitter and I can just play it. Okay, I'm not playing it with the sound though. But this is so weird. The Mysterious Light Man, which was filmed 40 years ago from the works of Return of the Jedi, and it was abandoned. This creature, the Light Man. Really weird. There's this creature of this guy who's just in lights. So weird. It's only 13 seconds long. What the heck? 13 seconds long. Well, no wonder. That is so weird. But okay, so let me know your thoughts about that. Do you guys remember ever hearing about this idea of there being a Light Man in Return of the Jedi? And it's really weird because this creature was abandoned. Now, it makes me want to now explore some things, guys. It makes me open up some new doors now. Now, I'm going to look up abandoned Star Wars creatures. Okay, you want to know more about abandoned Star Wars creatures? Because I sure do. Okay, so we want to see if we can find more of these abandoned Star Wars creatures. Okay. Okay, so StarWars.com recycling some abandoned film concepts of Abandoned Star Wars. Okay, this would be interesting. So let's keep going. Okay, back to the drawing board. Back from the drawing board, recycled Star Wars Aliens. Okay, the TV series we know, Star Wars Rebels, has reintroduced several well-known concepts from the late Ralph McQuarrie from the Star Wars universe. One of the most prominent concepts was given a new life in the character Garazib, also known as Zeb Urios, a Lasset. Although this is not the first time an early Chewbacca concept was refurbished in new alien species in 1988. Wow. You guys remember that? Because I sure don't. West End Games has released a Tatooine manhunt, which included a bounty hunter named Puggus Trod. I don't know this Puggus Trod, but accompanied by an image that bore a striking resemblance to McCrory's early Chewbacca. Now, this is a creature I didn't even know existed, though the Lasat species was born. Now, 16 years later, this species was explored again in Star Wars Rebel series. Lazib is not the only character based on abandoned Star Wars aliens developed in film, for this galaxy is filled with many abandoned aliens that we never knew were around. Many found their way in Star Wars universe through various ways. From this person we know the West End Games to Star Wars The Clone Wars. Pod racers and droid builders. Okay, several designs for the prequel movies have been unused and then reused from 6 seasons of the Clone Wars, but we'll get to those a little later because after the release of Episode 1, The Phantom Menace in 1999, there was a few unused alien concepts that found their way back. Though from the Episode 1 Pod Racer video game that was really popular for the PlayStation. If you guys remember playing the Episode 1 Pod Racer game, let me know in the comments, because this was released by LucasArts, and players are able to control pod racers from that movie, and then some other ones. Among these new characters, several were clearly based on exist concepts of aliens that might have never made it, that have been ended in Phantom Menace. The racers known as Bullseye Navior and Toy Dampener were based on discarded pod racer pilot designs from Terrell Whitlatch, as an artist, of course. The later of this pod racer can be seen during the scenes of Bunta Eve Challenge. Now, although it's never included in any of the sources describing their contestants, Food Sang, now drawn and even sculpted in part of designs of this pod race sequence, were not included in the final version of this movie. The concept sculpts were still seen in Episode 1 in the form of a statue of Anakin Skywalker desk. Slide Paramita, a Siasi racer, first appeared in a concept art but also early drafted the script. The homeworld of Tun has eventually made it in the final movie of Ben Quantiderno's origin. Several of these new pod racers were introduced in the game, also found their lineage and their origins in designs of the Phantom Menace. It's really cool. So you have all these other aliens you never would have known unless you played Pod Racer. Now, one of the best known examples of conceptual species in Star Wars universe was the Neimoidian Geonosian case. Now, early concepts of the Neimoidians have them resemble their B-1 battle droids. Original background stories of these battle droids were supposed to mimic the appearance of skeletal remains of the Neimoidian creators. The Neimoidians are a creature of the movie. The early concept of Neimoidians by Doug Chiang was another artist, was used a substantial amount of concept arts. Later in this process, the design was allowed to change the masked actor instead of computer animated CGI characters. Early Neimoidians have returned to drawing boards during design stages of Attack of the Clones, the second episode. Well, they would eventually evolve into Geonosians. Now, builders of the battle droids were another concept that was early for the Neimoidians, by Chiang would also come back to the change in the Archduke Paul the Lesser, the leader of the Genosians. Now, when Revenge of the Sith, the third episode, released in 2005, we were first introduced to Utai, which is the diminutive inhabitants of Utapu. Utapu. They look surprisingly similar to a conceptual alien that was included in Monsters and Aliens from George Lucas, which was a 1993 book that provides stories of art in various Lucasfilm productions. One of those creatures introduced a non-canon book was K.F. Frick. Now, a horticultural educator who might well have been inspired by Utah designs. Now, another concepts came to life during the prequel era with Nilo the Radasar, which is a contestant in the Cauldron in 22nd episode of Gennady Tartakovsky's original Clone Wars series. This, unfortunate, was being based on the sketches of Nilo Radis Jamiro from the Gamorrean Guards of Return of the Jedi. His name Nilo and species the Radisars are homage to the original artist Alter Ranga, which is Jedi Master only seen in Design and Demont powers from the Attack of the Clones, were actually revamped pod race crowd aliens that were initially sculpted for the Phantom Menace movie. Although they never made it to any of those films, they provided with this name of the Art of Star Wars Episode 2. The V's, also known as an occurrence of V's, Empire, and Wizard and Coast and Unknown Regions, were originally alien species of non-Star Wars. Alien Chronicles, artworks by Taylor Whitlatch, were used to portray these V's as now defunct Alien Chronicle websites, which can be explored, guys, which she also used to depict the alien senator and the wildlife of Star Wars. Now, there's actually the Sith Witches and Lemur people. Now, with the release from the Clone Wars, we were quickly introduced to the plethora of new alien species, part of which found their origins in abandoned concepts of 6 movies. Jedi Master Terra Sinoob's species, the Kosians, were first seen in episode Grievous Intrigue. Sinoob was based on an episode 1 designed by Terry Whitlatch on Alien Senators. Early pre-production design for Jar Jar for Whitlatch would be used in Zilkin Colonel Meebo Gascons, who's been made his debut in episode Secret Weapons. An early Jar Jar design was involved by a smaller creature of later concept, which was later appeared to be some sort of a Gungan pet. Now, same designs were previously used from Star Wars Galactic Battleground as the Glurgs, which is a non-sentient workforce for the Gungans. Now, an unused fish-like Jedi concept for Episode 1 by Ian McCraig has evolved into the Petrolian, first seen in the forms of Robonino in Hostage Crisis, one of the Night Sister Sith Witches, which were designs for Episode 1 by Ian McCraig. An image from his worst nightmares were eventually used by Mother Talzin. Again, this piece is a concept art was initially intended as the villain for Episode 1, which was later changed to Darth Maul. Now, this is really interesting. Other designs for Sith Lords by Ian McCraig also saw the return of Clone Wars. The Tyrolean Django Jumper Cassie Cryer, who first appeared in Lightsabers Lost, which is based on early Sith concepts of Episode 1. Now, simultaneously, McCraig was also experimenting with facial tattoos of evil senators, which would end with involving the tattooed Darth Maul, a blue skin design with yellow face markings, based on photographs by Greg Golowski, was reintroduced in the Star Wars saga as the Pantorans, seen in episode Trespass Senator Chi Ikwe and Baron Papanoida, were later confirmed as Pantorians as well, which were also technically makes for Revenge of the Sith their first appearance. An unused Medusa-like Sith female was designed by McCraig for Episode 2, brought back to life in Clone Wars episodes The Unknown. The Jedi Master Templar was originally played by the ideas of creating a female Sith character, though those plans were eventually moved aside in favor for a change for Count Dooku. One of the more prominent designs for this female Sith by demote powers have quickly found their ways into Sith apprentice Asajj Ventress, who we saw also in Clone Wars, who was also first introduced in audiences in comic Jedi's Mace Windu's in 2003. Okay, in addition to two variants of Geonosians, drone and males, the Concordians were also based on initial designs by Nemourians by Doug Chiang. The Traitor Baron came to live as the General Royal Loathsome in 2008 Star Wars Clone Wars films. Rig Nemma is an alien Jedi hero who appears to an episode voices is directly based from early Episode 1 designs for Mace Windu. But Ian McCraig at the time designing Mace. Samuel L. Jackson was not cast yet, but then McCraig used a sketch from Elm Moderer Steve Applin, according to a featurette included with the episode Blue Shadow Virus, which was on the Season 1 DVD, Dr. Novo Vindi on Voice, that based on abandoned concepts of alien astronauts from Attack of the Clones. He does, however, really look similar to one of the alien senators' sketches drawn by the Phantom Menace. The Lurmans were also sometimes referred as Magidans, which have also debuted in episode Jedi Crash. The Lurmans were lemur-like species that were initially supposed to appear in Revenge of the Sith as the Lemur people. Now developed by Eric Timmons and George Lucas later asked for more variations of this costume and design. Sang-Jung Lee also worked on designs creating several different options of physiology and clothing of these species. Robert Burns also worked on scarves for the lemur people and described this design as a challenge, for they've had to take something cute and give it this edge. In the end, the species did not make it in the cut, although Star Wars Complete Locations does mention this lemur-like species that's been reduced to mere slaves by Megiddo. Sang-Jung Lee also worked on alternate designs for Nemourian warriors, one of which has a breathing mask. The closely designed resembles the appearance of Kuzu bounty hunter Embo from an episode Bounty Hunters, which may have been the source of inspiration for this species. Now, not only does prequel concept art makes very interesting ways into the Clone Wars, but some designs from the original trilogy were revisited as well. The Parwan bounty hunter, Deron, from the episode The Box, was loosely based on Ron Cobb's ambulatory plant, which was also used for Wevween species, an owl creature seen from the early Ralph McCrory paintings of continuous showdowns, which were further explored in episode Spear of Influence. Again, abandoned projects by design phases. The concept art galleries are on the Blu-ray edition of Season 3 names from the species Schillerian. Now, hole in the head with other sightings. The ambulatory plant was formed in inspiration for the Parwan, which is initially drawn by Ron Cobb and series of designs of patrons of the Maz Ezri Katina, which were seen in episode 4, while few of those sketches were realized in the movie, such as the Goddle. Others were left in drawing boards, some of those too complex to make in costume. The ambulatory plants, who were supposed to have great senses of humor, soon made their way in Star Wars universe through the appearance in the 1991 miniature battle game as the Reverie. The Reverie later appeared in varieties of books such as The Galaxy Guide 12 and the Jedi Academy Training Manual. More of Cobb's sketches of the Arctic mammal-like fish eater was brought to a Kellogg's commercial, believe it or not, given by C-3PO and R2-D2. Three of Ralph McCrory's concepts of Empire Strikes Back were also used from books and depicted new species and Franta riders, who are humanoid species that perform stunts on Frantas, around Bespin. Now, they introduced the illustrated Star Wars universe using different paintings by McCrory, which later appeared in the Bounty Hunters, albeit from somewhat altered forms. The 12 Aries were introduced and wanted by Kraken, a book which used the McCrory's early concepts of Minok to portray the semi-sentient avians of the planet Pochi. Now, Adventure Journal number 2, published in 1994, included an adventure of the Way of the Yashru by Dustin Browder. The Yashru, natives of Bascorn, were depicted as using the McCrory concepts of Episode 5. Although there was no information to this connection or concept was, for it almost looks like a more developed concepts for Chewbacca. Really, really interesting. Design stages of Return of the Jedi have spawned wide ranges of concepts for the gangster villain Jabba the Hutt. Few of them have renewed uses from Star Wars universe. The Quakrans were originally introduced in Galaxy Guide number 6 in 1990, and 8 years later, Alien Encounters included an image of these species, which was essentially reworked as McCrory concept. Now, Disloggia Twang, first seen in non-canon cult monsters and aliens from George Lucas, made their way to official Star Wars universe by means of HoloNet news websites, which were created before the releases of Attack of the Clones. Their sightings by Twang was a gossip section in HNN, which was a very close approximation of the entries of monsters were based on designs for Jabba's right-hand person, Bib Fortuna, by Nilo Rados Jamero. They were transferred from Star Wars Wanted by Kraken and made several appearances in later works. Although most of their designs for Fortuna were used in illustrated Star Wars universe to represent the members of the Council of Tourism and Extraplanetary Investment on Cloud City. Now, they worked on various alien designs, some of which were abandoned before they even started production. Wanted by Kraken used 2 of these to depict the Brewites, a con artist Maxnian and Keel, a terrorist Guido Farnar, which is a Burrit made by additional appearances in the Galaxy Guide number 12, now which is a head-to-toe illustrations of these extensively used various sources, most notably the Knights of Old Republic series and comics. Although the tendrils hanging from their faces became more prominent over time, they were based on discarded concepts for the Rancor by Joe Johnston and was also introduced by Wanted by Kraken. Several concepts were made, but they were not past the sculpting phase, were also recycled in later sources. These sculpts have nickname Hole in the Head, which was made by Return of the Jedi, where the creatures were supposed to appear in Jabba's palace but were not used. Now, apparently proven to be interesting as they are, the designs for West End Games to use one of these books, named the Adarian, this species with characteristic heads, appeared in the Galaxy Guide number 12, which was published in 1995, and were provided with illustrations in 2008. This complete Star Wars encyclopedia used a picture of actual sculpted busts of Adurians. Several other aliens were used by Deciphers, the customizable card games. Deciphers have superimposed these images on backgrounds from movies not making the cuts, and they've appeared from scenes, although being originally known as Alien 23, they've referred those as Finker among aliens. Alien number 25, an alien with some elephant-like features, were also used to depict. Now, being from a source of the Alliance Commando, a native Verdron was known as Alien number 18. This design has features similar to the Dianoga. This name was literally an anagram of the Dianoga dude. Was discarded because manipulations would be too difficult for the Alien number 19, which is the design of a 4-horned head, was provided with a torso and turned into Makorf 34, and a Saurian native of Maltok, Nep Duo 35, a Tokolian disciple, and Devuit, started with designs of a beak-like snout. Blue-skinned alien number 25, may have been a candidate of Jabba's aides, but never made it into the stages. Now, it returned for Soft 35, a Teflon recruiter of Alliance 6636, known as 6I, and Alien Number 24 during productions of hand-operated puppets was supposed to get operated by Simon Williamson, but did not make the final cut. Now, 6.6 was given by Star Wars Chronicles, which was published in 1997 and was copied by Deciphers in 1998. Their design, however, is significantly different from images provided by West End Games for the 6.6 in the 1989 Galaxy Guide number 4. Seeing as how all these new Star Wars Rebels series draws all these heavy concepts of the Ralph McQuarrie Alien collection, has concepts to also inspire the works of Episode 7, though it could really be possible that some of those concepts mentioned in this article or other unused ones in this matter. Now, let me know which aliens you heard of. Now, selected read-ins, you can actually read Monsters and Aliens by George Lucas in 1993, The Star Wars Chronicles 1997, The Art of Star Wars Episode 1 1999, The Art of Star Wars Episode 2 2002, The Art of Star Wars Episode 3 2005, The Illustrated Star Wars Universe in 1995, The Making of Return of the Jedi 2013, Making of Star Wars 2007, The Making of Empire Strikes Back number 2 in 2010, The Wildlife of Star Wars in 2001, and most noted, The Wanted by Kraken in 1993. Now, if you guys have any of those books, then you're really, really lucky because those books talk about all the unused or scrapped creatures or creatures that were later recycled through many different animated iterations of Star Wars universe. Now, again, let me know your thoughts about this. I think it's really cool that Star Wars has so many opportunities and villains and creatures and all these ideas that slipped under our nose unless you actually had those books I mentioned. Now, it's mentioned on StarWars.com. Now, if you go to StarWars.com, you can see that list and those unused aliens or recycled aliens which were used from those books and those chronicles and those collections done by those artists. And again, let me know, guys. I'm just chilling. So we are already an hour and 37 minutes, almost an hour 38 minutes in this live stream. So again, I haven't done a video of this length in quite a long time. Actually, before the holidays or around the holidays, or before the holidays, actually. Last time I did a live stream this long was like back before Christmas. Before Christmas, I did hour-long live streams. Now, let me know your thoughts about this stuff. I think it's really cool. So, let me know about anything that I've talked about. And if you have comments, leave them below. I like to entertain you guys with the best content or interesting finds that I can. And if you guys want to see me talk about more Star Wars or Marvel or anything, also leave that in the comments. I really need you guys to communicate across the boards so I know which content you really want me to explore. And I want you guys to have a wonderful, 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 wonderful day. It is already almost 4 in the morning. Wow. Okay, guys. So I'm going to close this all out. I'm just chilling. I'm probably going to change my YouTube on my PlayStation 4. I've been watching these puppet videos of actual Muppets, like Muppet characters that actually like are on like a YouTube channel. That's really, really famous actually. But yeah, I'm just gonna probably change that. I'm gonna close off this live stream with a good note saying that if you guys have anything you want me to explore, please leave it in the comments. I really want to know what you guys want me to explore or talk about or briefly mention. If you guys want to see more stuff talked about, please also let me know in the comments. And you guys have an awesome, awesome rest of your day. I am probably going to be doing more videos later, but it might not be like right away. Okay, guys? So I'll see you guys around, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day. So it's almost 4 o'clock, so I'm going to shut this live stream off, and I'm just going to change my YouTube, probably put someone else on. Because I'm up pretty much now a lot of the time now, up late hours into the day. So I'll see you guys around a little later. And also, please make sure you subscribe to my channel if you haven't subscribed yet. And I'll see you guys around later. Bye.